Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we'll be talking about Kenny G Keeping It Saxy. And this is published by Big G Creative and designed by Prospero Hall.
Do you think the Big G in Big G Creative is Kenny G? And he's secretly like underground, like designing and publishing board games?
No, because he's a little saxophone, not a big saxophone.
He can play all the saxophones.
It would be a little G Creative.
I think his favorite saxophone is the straight soprano saxophone, as shown here. But I bet he could play the saxophone he put his mind to.
Just put his mind to it.
Because he keeps it sexy, you know what I'm saying? So this is a cooperative game where all this bad stuff is happening to Kenny G, and it's trying to throw him off his groove. Now we, as the players, using the power of jazz, need to get him back on his groove. I'm not even going to give you anything more than that. You're just going to have to see how it plays. All right, let me show you. All right, here is our setup for Keepin' It Saxy. We've got our sax cards here. We have our three different phases of the day. We've got morning, afternoon, and evening. We've got our first player marker, which is a soprano saxophone, like in most games, right? And then we have our dice, which are our bad news. All right, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to get through this whole day, these 6 phases, while still keeping as many of these groove tokens on the board as possible. We have some extra ones here as well that we might be able to earn back into our supply. Each player is going to start the game with 4 of these sax cards. They are going to be maybe some symbols that we can use, or some events that can also kind of help us out as well. Then we're going to start the game off by flipping over as many events per player as shown. So there's actually a double-sided board. There's basically rules for 2, 3 on one side, and 4 and 5 on another side. So for 2 players, we're going to see 2 events. And basically, you can kind of see these symbols that we have to kind of accomplish over here. Oh, and by the way, here's our Kenny G pawn. He's going to be moving across the board, going through his day. So we need to get these symbols out there on the board. Starting with the first player, you're going to be able to take 3 actions. So your actions can be play one of the sound symbols on these cards. Now you have to play it from left to right. So in this case, you'd have to play green before you play the yellow one. Otherwise, you can play an ability card, one of those event cards in your hands that cause you to draw extra cards or trade cards with another player or do lots of things like that. Or for an action, you can draw 2 more cards. You don't replenish your hand at the end of the turn like you do in some games. You actually have to spend actions to draw cards. Or you can trade cards with another player. That can really help as far as knowing that you're out of actions, but maybe someone else can use those turns to kind of fulfill those cards. Once everyone has had their turn, if the event is done, basically that's good news. You get rid of it. If there's a little saxophone symbol here, you do whatever it says. In this case, you gain one of the groove tokens back. So if you finish that card, you get a benefit. However, if anything's uncompleted, there's usually a number on there, and you have to roll that many dice. So let's say we rolled 2 dice if we didn't finish that card. All right, so 1 blank and 1 1. So we'd have to lose one of our groove tokens. If the cards are incomplete, you actually leave them out there. You move him along, and you bring out whatever is going to be happening for the next day. Some of these event cards are going to have little dice symbols on them. They're going to kind of modify your dice roll to tell you how many dice to use, or maybe make it harder or make it easier. So keep an eye on those as you're rolling. But basically, you're trying to get through the day, complete as many of these cards as possible, and rolling low. You want to try to roll 0s and 1s as often as possible so you can keep some of those tokens out on the board. So once he gets all the way to that very last spot, you're going to do just like a normal turn. You're going to reveal one of these cards over here. Oh, this time, he lost a board game. So we got to complete all these symbols in order to fulfill that card. Even if you don't fulfill it, basically at the end of all the rounds, even no matter if you've rolled all the dice you need to roll, if there's still tokens out on the board, you have won. If at any point you lose all the tokens, though, you've lost the game. And if you do have tokens left, there is kind of a ranking here based off how many tokens you have left. I can go anywhere from 1 to 3. It says, at least you're still grooving, to the very top end, 13 to 16. And that says, amazing! Maybe you should tour with Kenny G. Also, the game recommends that once you complete one of these little cards there, you're going to have all these symbols. They suggest that you actually scat out, scootily wah wah wah, or whatever strange combination of scatting symbols that you come across. They suggest that you actually scat them to complete that event. So remember, you are working as a team, trying to save as many tokens as possible, completing as many of these events as fast as you possibly can, working together, sharing cards, drawing cards, using those event cards in order to keep Kenny G from losing his groove.
This has an incredibly quirky theme and a lot of really quirky flavor texts. Like, one of the things was, like, they ran out of iced coffee. And that was bringing the groove down, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah, you're making him lose the groove.
Yeah, because there's no iced coffee. So
and that makes you
like...
lose your groove. I've seen that happen firsthand. I didn't use jazz, but I just went and got
store.
coffee. Yeah, I went and got coffee. Why doesn't he just do that?
Why did you say coffee?
I don't know.
I got coffee.
Coffee Talk with Linda Richmond.
Yep, that's okay. So now we are talking about Coffee Talk, published by Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
I would play that game.
Yeah, really?
Over this. We'll get to that later.
So I thought it was quirky. It had a lot of little fun flavor text to it. Doesn't say much about the gameplay, though.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. The components in this game were just hilarious. There's that saxophone first player marker. There's a huge maple of Kenny G roaming around the board. There is all the cards. So there's hilarious things that's happening to him. Absolutely hilarious the first time you play it. So, yeah, high marks for comedy.
So, here's the thing, though. I have, I think, just changed as a gamer, and now when I play games, I really will bypass things just to get into the mechanics of it, right? So there was fun flavor text and things going on, and they wanted you to, like, scat the cards when you were playing them, but I was literally just playing the game. And so I wasn't playing the game the way the game wanted to play, because that's not the type of gamer I am. Yeah, I like that. That makes sense. So because of that, this is like a hard pass for me. I feel like if you like Kenny G, you'll love this. Like, you'll get a huge kick out of it. It'll just be hilarious to you. But if you don't, like, you see this at Target, goes on sale, just walk on by.
We didn't. We took the bait. We bought it.
We did.
And yeah, absolutely. There's a pretty decent cooperative game in here, all about this card play, and it becomes interesting when you're having to trade cards with people. That part of the game is actually pretty interesting. If you would have put any other theme on it, we would have probably enjoyed it. Which is a little bit ironic, because we are one of the people who clamor for unique themes, and it doesn't get much more unique than this. But that being said, I think they relied too heavy on the comedy and maybe not so much on the gameplay. So, I guess in the first experience I had with this game was at a board game party, where there was...
This is why we picked the game up, by the way, is because of this.
Yeah, there was people playing all over the different tables all over the house, and there's this one table playing Keepin, Saxy, and they were just laughing, having a great time. I mean, there was legitimate belly laughs, and they just were just loving it. And so I picked it up, and you know what? Like you said, we've changed, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of seeing all these different symbols and you know, what does that symbol mean? And let's play that song. Let's play a wah, wah, wah sound.
Yeah.
Let's play a doo-wop sound. No, it was like, we need a purple, a gray, and a blue.
Exactly.
You know? And then the flavor text, it wasn't like, oh, we saved some intergalactic thing. It was like, all right, we completed that card, on to the next one.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's a little bit on us.
No, that definitely is on us.
But even still, would that have saved it if we had gotten really into it and been like, wah, 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 wah,
if it had had a different theme on it, like you said, I wonder if I would have just liked it more. If it was something that I was really familiar with. Like, if this was the Aquabats, how'd you feel about that?
I'd laugh the first time, but then not the second time.
The second.
Once you've gone through the deck and you've seen all the cards and you've made all the jokes and you've laughed at them, it's done. You know, you're left with an okay card game.
Yeah.
So.
You're curious. Now you want that Aquabats game.
I'd buy it just to have on the shelf. So, is the game you should play at a party? Yes. Is the game that you should own? No.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't for blah 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 blah. Don't forget to subscribe to us so you can see our videos as they come out. You can also find us on Facebook, we're Ryan Bethany Board Game Reviews. On Twitter, we're Ryan Bethany 1, and on Instagram, we are Ryan and Bethany. And stay tuned to the very end for our pounds and inches update. But until then, bye guys.
Bye everybody.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for staying tuned to the very end for our Pounds and Inches update. This is where Ryan and I like to talk about the things that we're doing to try and achieve better health in our life, whether it's going well or not. But I was listening to a podcast the other day. It was the Feel Better, Live More podcast by Dr. Chatterjee. I think that's how you say his name.
Dr. Cheddar Cheese? By Dr. Cheddar
Rangar
Cheese.
Chatterjee. Doesn't matter.
Dr. Cheddar Cheese.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, he had a guest on who studies the brain a lot, and they were talking about how it's actually really good for you to be bad at things, to continue to try and be bad at things. And I remember when I was in junior in high school and I was a musician,
Just like our friend Kenny G here.
I did not put forth as much energy as I should have, because when things got challenging, I was that child when things got challenging, I was like, I don't want to
Try just in case I fail.
Exactly, right? And I just so wish I could go back to high school Bethany and be like, this is really good for your brain to be bad at this. Like, even if you try and fail, you're still doing great things for your brain. It helps your brain not deteriorate. So there is my encouragement for you. It is great to fail.
Yeah, try. And if you succeed, awesome. And if you don't, you improved your brain.
Yes, exactly.
Just like they tried.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.